Welcome, Bears fans. Near and far, huge victory. And you are here wrapping it up with Bryan Orenchuk stepping it in for Jacob Infante. Jacob, we love and miss you. And you are at the game, so we are not feeling bad for you for not being here because you're having a blast right now. But brought to you by Second City Gridiron, huge victory for the beloved. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you for surviving this season thus far, all these close victories. Hey, y'all, they said we couldn't beat a winning team. What are they going to say now? It's not a conference team. They didn't have their quarterback. They're going to say something, you know that. But cheers to you all. I'm cracking open a beer. Hope you're going to drink one with me. If you're not, then you're going to cheers with me. But shout out to the reserve linebackers that stepped up for the Bears defense today. Shout out to Dennis Allen for the scheme he put forth. I got to say, so much hype, man, has been on Darnell Washington. Real ball knowers know who he is, where he's from. He's a solid tight end, but he's not what everybody made it up to be. Notice who they threw the ball to. Pat Freiermuth for the touchdown late for Pittsburgh, and Jonnu Smith getting some clutch passes down late. Everybody's hyping up Darnell Washington because he's an offensive lineman. Guess what? He got toasted twice by Montez. Holler at Montez Sweat. By the way, Montez Sweat, 7.5 sacks in the season, 11 games in. Did you know, Bears fans, this is the second time ever Montez Sweat has had 7.5 sacks in his first 11 games of the season in his career. 1 second. Oh, victory beer tastes good. The only other time Montez Sweat has had 7.5 sacks in his first 11 games was when we acquired him through trade with the Washington Commanders. He played the first 6 games of the Commanders. The final actually made the first 8 games, and whatever it was. Though that season he had 7.5 sacks in his first 11 games. Doing it again now, looking like that premier pass rusher we need. We don't need a TJ Watt. We don't need that. Although TJ Watt, give him his flowers. He gave Darnell Wright fits today. Almost single-handedly won the game with that strip sack fumble touchdown in the end zone of Caleb. But Montez Sweat's been playing some great ball lately. And we got the W. So that's all that matters. So thank you guys for joining us. Again, shout out to Jacob. Jacob, it's an honor to be in your stead right now, but I hope you're having a blast. And this is my first post-game show. I do the post-game note, day after notes, and I've got some notes. I've got a lot of notes. Usually I get a chance to go over them, kind of formulate my thoughts, present them in a more professional manner. You guys are getting them raw right now. Go Bears, right? Go Bears. I don't care. You care? We just got the W against a winning team. Heck yeah. Can somebody tell me, am I allowed to curse on this show? I don't know. All I know is I'm wrapping it up, and we're just wrapping up a W. We're down to our 5th, 6th string defensive players right now, and we got the W. Shout out to Caleb Williams. Heck of a game by Caleb. Hey, he missed some balls. He missed some balls early. He missed some balls late, but he got it done when it mattered. Many of you may have seen, I actually called out DJ Moore. I thought he was going to have a huge game this week. A couple reasons why. We knew this was going to be a physical game. Pittsburgh Steelers coming to town. Pittsburgh Steelers are a physical bunch. They like to bully folks up front, on the back end. They've got linebackers. They got DBs that can hit. On offense, they've got maulers up front. They like to run the ball. Got DK Metcalf, bench 500 pounds, catching passes. Watch out for Nahshon Wright, right? You guys see that play? I know we all saw that play to start to get the ball back after we sputtered out on offense. They get the ball, throw it deep to DK. Nahshon Wright with the one-handed pick over DK. Mossed him. What did that remind you of? Anybody? Peanut Tillman, Randy Moss, the end zone. A little bit of Moss kryptonite right there. Hey, Wright has earned a payday. Nahshon Wright has earned playing time. It is going to be really fascinating to see. Really fascinating what Dennis Allen does once we get some reserves on the back end. Jalen Johnson's got to be quarterback one, obviously. He's arguably our best player on defense, period, bar none. Kyler Gordon coming back. You got C.J. Gardner-Johnson in there now playing great, which, by the way, anybody see C.J. getting Jalen Ramsey's face for pushing Caleb out of bounds? Anybody see that? Look, man. Hey, I have been skeptical. I've been critical of the player that CJ has been before he came to Chicago. I've been critical. I have an article of the top 10 villains the last 40 years in the NFL. CJ made top 5 in the last 40 years. He's not playing like a villain these days. He's playing like a hero. And that's even when he's not on the field. When he stepped up and got in the face of Jalen Ramsey after he pushed Caleb out of bounds, that's what you like to see. He's filling the hole like a linebacker, which we know we need. But when you get him and Kyler Gordon back there, you got Jalen Johnson. Hopefully Tyreek's okay. He's not been able to finish the last couple games. But hopefully we get our reserves back. What are you going to do? Nahshon Wright's earned a spot. I will say that. We got some reserves coming back. I'm excited to see what we can do. Okay? We got Eagles, Browns, Packers coming up. Packers just swept the floor with the Vikings. What's going on in Detroit right now? Can anybody tell me? Hey, if anybody has anything to say, join in on this chat. Let's see. Papa Scrubs, how about just my idea? Coming out empty was a great motion to run. Duo with 25 was coach porn. Hey, I love what I saw from Dennis Allen. We don't win that game without Ben Johnson and Dennis Allen today. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. On both sides of the ball. I mean, let me just look at my notes. All right. Excuse me for looking at my phone right now, but Papa Scarbs, I see you, I hear you. We don't win that game without the coaching staff today. Yes, our players stepped up. Yes, I was absolutely impressed, inspired even by the reserve linebackers and how they played today. But we do not win that game without those adjustments. There were a number of great calls today. I will say that that fourth down, it was fourth down throw by Caleb late to stop the clock when the Steelers had one timeout left. Choo boy. And I had a feeling that Ben was going to throw that one. That was risky. That was risky. But you're right, Papa Scarbs. Dennis Allen. I mean, think about the two of the biggest plays of the game. That last one there. That last one. You have Jaquan Brisker on a safety blitz. Did you guys notice who got his hands on the ball? That was Brisker. He also ran it. He also ran a blitz, got some pressure before that. Hey, almighty man, 6'7", 5'7". Duh, Bears with another W. You're right. Duh, Bears. Woohoo! Bring it in. Cheers, everyone. Cheers. Alcoholic, non-alcoholic, it doesn't matter. We are unified in our victory. Speaking of victory, how good is it to see a victory formation to end a game? Can we cheers to that with a seltzer water? Or a delicious amber ale like I'm drinking. I might have to highlight this one on Bears Over Beers this week with my guy, Ryan Drosty. But back to you, Papa Scarps. The play calls on both offense and defense today were just exceptional. Absolutely exceptional. I thought a couple guys stood out to me on both sides of the ball as well. We already talked about Nahshon Wright. Talked about these linebackers. But I thought a couple guys had a really good game. DeMarco Jackson, number one. He was filling the hole. They were stopping the receivers in their tracks after they caught a pass. Really, really solid play from the linebackers. And any of you folks ever played linebacker before? That's a position where you got to be using your head. You know, when you're a peewee, you can just barrel through people, bully folks, and not have to use your head as much. But as you get up in levels, it's all about your head. And I thought those guys played exceptionally well today. You didn't talk about them much, about getting run over, out of play. Now, I will say there were a couple plays. The Freiermuth touchdown, for one, I forget which linebacker it was. he was kind of sucked inside a little bit. I think Tremaine Edmonds is going to have some depth there and going to knock that ball down. Defense got better when Hippolyte came out of the game. That's a question by Almighty Man. Hey, it kind of seemed like that, didn't it? It kind of seemed like that. I won't argue that. I'd have to go back and watch the tape, as Coach Ben Johnson would say. I have to watch tape, but it did seem like that. I thought Hippolyte was playing decent when he was in there. I saw him fill the hole a couple times. Happy about that. I didn't expect the linebackers to play that well. I'm not going to lie to anybody. I didn't expect that. I thought this is a close game with our linebackers. Without them, I was concerned. That turnover to start the game for us, that was huge. Got the ball back. We put the ball in the end zone. That was huge. But I thought Colson Loveland had a heck of a game. Cole Kmet, I wish he would stay up. I wish he would stay up when he catches the ball, barrel through somebody. He did that last week. I wrote in my column. I thought he had a fantastic game last week, barreling through folks. He had a nice catch today. I think he only had one, if I'm not mistaken, and he just got down. I would have loved to see him stay up. But Colson Loveland, great game today. Monangai, great game today. I love seeing it. It hurt having Jonah Jackson out. But we had Luke Newman step in, a rookie that hasn't had as much playing time this season. And they did okay. Like I said earlier, I think Caleb was off a little bit today. Rome was catching everything inbounds, out of bounds to start. And then he dropped a couple. One was knocked out of his hands. One was just a bad miss that I think was actually very critical drop late in the game when we needed that one. On the first down, if you remember, it would have been a first down conversion on first down, and he dropped it. Was it a perfect pass? No, but it was out there. Yes, Papa Scarbs. Trapillo. Absolutely. Thank you for reminding me. Again, this is my first post-game show. I got so much going through my head right now. I should not be live, but I am. Trapillo absolutely had a fantastic game. He let up a couple good pressures, but overall he had a great game. And yes, let's see, what the hell is your name, bro? At Fall Times, Flatcatic Chief Cop 641. Montez had a great game. Absolutely, Montez is the MVP of the game, if you ask me. Holler at our guy Ryan Drosty. Montez Sweat gets the game ball today. Only one. It goes to Sweat. Montez Sweat, fantastic game. Let me go back to the Darnell Washington garbage. Everybody was scared of Darnell Washington, who, by the way, was the third leading tight end on the roster for the Titans. But he had a single highlight play against the Bengals where in a game he caught more than half his yards, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, in one game. As if that's indicative of who he is or the threat he is. He's not. He's a 6'7", 300-plus pound tight end. Yes, that's imposing for sure. But he's not a tackle, and he's not a move tight end that you're worried about in the pass game. Montez Sweat abused him 2 times in pass rush. And Sweat, man, gosh, he would like to have that one back. I think that goes to the play calling these days where it's too soft on the quarterbacks. Sweat had Rudolph dead in sight, and he let him off. He kind of let off the sack. Rudolph fights out of it, throws incomplete pass. Would have been Sweat's 3rd sack of the day. I agree. I think Sweat was absolutely the MVP of the game. Sweat is having himself a hell of a year. As I said earlier, it's the first time in his career that he's had 7.5 sacks in 11 games. So he's playing as good as he's ever played his entire career. I expect that to continue, especially when you get some reinforcements on the back end. Nobody's talking about that. They like to disrespect the Bears because they haven't won against a winning team. Got a dub today against a winning team. Oh, by the way, happened to be the first place club in the AFC North. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Got the dub. Montez Sweat's playing some great ball. Our whole team's playing great ball. But we have had a litany of injuries. Obviously, we talked about the linebackers all being out today. Our defensive backs have been playing down to our 4th, 5th string. Shout out to Nick McLeod. I thought he played an admirable job. He did an admirable job today. I thought his quickness actually was kind of favorable against a Calvin Austin out there. And I thought Nashawn Wright, his length His size was good good along to bat with DK. We matched up well against them, but I expect them to run the ball, and they ran it well. Kenneth Gainwell had a hell of a game. Jalen Warren had a hell of a game. Those are two young backs that are great. And our guy, Josh Sunderbuck, and myself, very, very high on Caleb Johnson out of Iowa, the rookie. I believe third-round pick this year. Steelers are going to be a good team for a long time if they can get the quarterback situation right. But that's a whole nother topic. Aaron Rodgers ain't the guy. I actually believe Mason Rudolph gave them a better chance today. But the whole recipe for them to win the game was to run the ball. The way they were passing it, especially in that first drive, throwing it up, Nashon Wright picked it off, that's on them. Arthur Smith has never been that guy as an offensive coordinator. He's never been. That's why he was a head coach, got fired, never been. You need to run the ball against the Bears today. They didn't do that. So I'll take it. What was the offensive production from the the Steelers averaged 5.2 yards a carry, ran for 186 yards today. You got to run the ball. Meanwhile, Monangai averaged 4 yards a carry. Swift averaged 1.9. They're a stout group. Cam Hayward played in the game, but they've got a couple of young studs at defensive tackle. Derek Harmon, the rookie out of Oregon, and then they had Keanu Benton. I believe he's in the Wisconsin. Where is he from? Nebraska, Wisconsin. I can't remember. He's a Big Ten guy though. Keanu Benton, absolute stud. Wisconsin. He had himself a game as well. Fantastic win, Bears fans. You got to be happy. You got to be proud. Look, we keep winning these games close. At some point, for me, it was a few weeks ago, but at some point, you got to start believing in this coaching staff. As one of our listeners commented earlier in this show, the coaching staff is what gives us a chance. On cue right here, we got Gorillas 2332 with a question, hot off the press. Is Ben Johnson the best coach in Bears history? Hang up and let me talk. Hey, Gorillas, I see you in your little home gym there. Put me on the spot. I don't quite appreciate it, but I love the question. I love the question. You can't give Ben the best head coach in Bears history yet. But is he on track? Absolutely. 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 I barely lived in the Ditka years. I lived in the Lovey years. Thrived in the Lovey years. And those are the only ones that made it close as far as coaching is concerned. Here we got the stats for today's game. As I expect, look at Gainwell's stats. And they took a TD off the board and gave one to Warren, who ran hard all game, but 186 yards led up on the ground, 171 yards through the air. Golly. Shout out to that back seven, those linebackers and those DBs for being stout against the pass, for getting their hands on footballs. Shout out. And then Caleb Williams, almost 250 yards passing. Yes, Gorillas, I see you. Seriously, coaching staff is impressive. Johnson has one of his best games. Dennis Allen was able to get stops with USPS workers in the line. It is crazy, man. It is crazy. And I'll take it a step further, Mr. Gorilla friend. Shout out to your home gym once again. Not just Ben and DA, but this whole coaching staff. This whole coaching staff, I think, is the best since I've been alive. You're talking Antoine Randall. You're talking Anthony Harris. You're talking Dan Rochard. All of these guys are doing their job. Doing their job. What? Gorillas is Mason West? Mason West. I just got the inside scoop. Mason West, let's go. Let's go. Looking good, bro. Looking good. Home gym, physical therapist, doctor. Get on it. Get on it. Check out Bare Bones, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to see more from that home gym beast out there, along with some injury information, inside scoops. He knew ahead of time if Jalen was coming back, if Kyler was coming back, if Aaron Rodgers was coming back. He knew it all. Shout out to Mason West. But yes, back to these stats. What I was concerned about was Kenneth Gainwell, not just in the running game as well as the passing game. And look who had second most targets on the team. Running back Kenneth Gainwell completed 6 passes for 30 yards. He was moving the chain all day. DK Metcalf gutted it out. I thought we did a great job against him. He had that one TD. Technically, it was a run, more of a swing pass variety. We played them really well against the pass, really well. Our passing game, I was really excited to see what DJ Moore looked like because, number one, you've got the quick game going on with their pass rush, and number two, you have the physicality that I expected DJ to bring, and he brought it. I was disappointed in his personal foul penalty, but he played a hell of a game. Great game today, DJ Moore. Rome even had – it was an all-around group effort. Once we start getting these guys back, I'm excited. Excited to see what happens with the crew. We haven't even talked about Aaron Rodgers, and I don't want to talk about Aaron Rodgers. I don't care about Aaron Rodgers. He didn't play today. He's not in the NFC North. Screw Aaron Rodgers. This goes down as a loss in Aaron Rodgers' book. He was on the Steelers. They got the L. That's his final taste, was an L, a helpless L for Aaron Rodgers at Soldier Field. Time for him to go to L. Ha! Cheers. Listen, all things considered, we get to bounce back, get some guys healthy again. Hopefully we get TJ back. Kyler and Jalen, are coming back for this game on Black Friday. That is some severe enhancements for our defense. Did you know that the Eagles are without Lane Johnson? Did you know that? They're stud all-pro right tackle this week and the next few. All right, we got the defensive stacks now. What did I tell you? DeMarco Jackson, man, 15 combined tackles today. He really impressed me. I'm just going to say his first name, but amen. Can I get an amen? Filled in admirably himself. I knew Brisker was going to be involved. McLeod impressed me. From a coverage standpoint, he didn't get most of his snaps till the second half. He still had 7 combined tackles. Kevin Byard with a near interception and also a near tip right there at the end where Frymouth got that touchdown. That was huge. Nashawn Wright, fantastic game. Fantastic game. Nashawn Wright, guys. He's probably not going to be a Bear next year. We got our guys coming back healthy, but I hope he is. I love what I'm seeing from him. I love it. Undrafted free agent, practice squad guy, former Minnesota Viking, comes in, gets a pick 6 against the Vikings in week 1, and he's now tied for the league lead in interceptions. Did you guys know that? Nashawn Wright now is tied with Kevin Byard, his teammate, for the league lead interceptions. I don't know what's going on the rest of the day because all I care about is the Bears during Sundays. And I haven't seen the box scores or anything yet. I don't care about that right now. All I know is that Nashawn Wright is crushing it. Nashawn Wright's crushing it, having a great game. Tyreek Stevenson, man, he's been a warrior. He's been a warrior, been our cornerback 1 since Jalen went down, and he's been hobbled. He's been playing hurt. And my favorite thing about Tyreek, and I've said this a number of times on Bears Over Beers, his physicality. Y'all, he got up in DK's face, running back's face, tight end's face, and put his nose in there and stuck them for no gain after contact multiple times today. I love his coverage. I love his physicality at corner. I want him to be healthy. I almost think we should sit him this coming week if he's not fully healthy because he's not finished the last couple games. But Tyreek Stevenson is bouncing back and earning himself a long-term place on this roster. Absolutely. Him and C.J. Gardner-Johnson have not shown any of those immaturity issues that we were concerned about. And we've been talking about the coaches all day today. Credit to the coaches. People talk about how culture is an abstract intangible that doesn't actually formulate wins. Bullshit. Coach Ben Johnson, Dennis Allen, Anthony Harris, Antoine Randall, Declan Doyle, Dan Rashar. These guys have instilled the culture in this team to do things the right way, to play the game the right way. And it's showing up on the field. We don't win these close games without it. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, only one combined tackle on the stat sheet. But his attitude, his energy, and as I alluded to earlier, even when he's on the sideline, huge. Gotta love it. Demarcus Robinson, or, Dominique Robinson, Dom Rob. Only a few plays before he got hurt, but he played well, held that edge well. Austin Booker, I saw him a few times getting some pass rush. Hey, Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, he made himself best play his Bears career with that tackle for a short gain. It might have been a loss, I'm not sure. Where he reached out a hand and got that. Great game. Dexter and Jarrett. Jarrett now, y'all. Jarrett has put together 2 solid games. 2 of his best games as a Bear. It might just be a difference. Number 1, he's healthier. But number 2, he is not the second DT. We've got Dexter and we got Big Bill in there. I like seeing Jarrett come off in that rotation after those 2. But Jarrett has put himself together 2 great games, including a tip there to get us the ball back when it mattered most. So I love it. One thing you'll notice, real quick, before you turn this page, one thing you'll notice, a lot of names you don't recognize on here. For us to get this win, ladies and gentlemen, with some USPS drivers, as one of our commenters commented on earlier, do y'all realize how huge that is? Cheers to that. We're getting wins. Even when we're hobbled, when we shouldn't be getting wins, we're getting wins. Listen, do we get the respect that we deserve? I don't know. I don't care. But it's been a long time since the beloved have won games and had a fun season. So enjoy it. Guys, our run game put up 99 yards rushing, and Caleb Williams was 21 of those yards. I'm not great at math. What's that? 78 yards total rushing from our runners, and we still won the game. Thanks in large part to 3 touchdowns by Caleb, 0 interceptions, 239 yards through the air. We're getting it done. And we said, a lot of people have said, this is where the tough stretch is. And they're right. Got win number 1 already. Definitely be sure to hit up Second City Gridiron Merchandise Store with our promo code HOLIDAY18. HOLIDAY18, all one word. HOLIDAY18 for 18% off of everything. Listen, Second City Gridiron's where it's at. We got Bears merch, Bears Over Beers, Making Monsters with Taylor Dahl, Bare Bones with Mason West. We got the Mac and Reed show. And we got Bill Zimmerman. If you guys haven't seen the lineup that Bill Zimmerman is, y'all, we're talking Hall of Fame Bears on his podcast, our podcast, Second City. Bears Banter. We got coffee mugs. We got hoodies. We got beanies. Get yourself one for a discount and be a Second City fan with us in the most fun season of recent memory. Is Ben Johnson the best coach of all time in Chicago? Hey, he's on his way there. That's one thing we can say. I can't call him that quite yet. I can't. Remember how it was with Matt Nagy his first year. Coach of the Year honors. Coach of the Year. What happened after that? He had Vic Fangio as his DC. Arguably one of the best DCs of all time, if not the best. Just won a championship with the Eagles. That was Matt Nagy's defensive coordinator. They had some other guys too. Was it Mike McDonald? Who we got over there? We got a few other guys. Jesse Minter, a number of guys on that staff that were fantastic. Once the opposition gets some more tape on Ben Johnson, seeing how he then responds is gonna decide for me, is he that guy? Right? If we make the playoffs this year, if we win a game this year, huge. What's it look like moving forward? That's what I'll be looking for. All right, we got some Twitter responses out here. Left tackle for Chicago has been a weak spot along a rebuilt front five this fall, but not today, Ryan Fowler says on Twitter. Heck of an afternoon for rookie Ozzie Trapillo against a veteran Steelers front seven. 41 pass pro snaps, 1 pressure, 0 sacks, 0 QB hits with an 88.4 pass pro effectiveness grade. Hey, that's honestly a little bit better than I thought it was. That's a little bit better of a grade than I anticipated. I thought I let up a couple. He let up a couple more pressures than that. But you go back to the play calls. Ben Johnson knew what he was doing. Theo Benedict, our starting left tackle for most of the season at this point, ruled out. Granted, I think Trapillo is a better natural pass blocker than Benedict, who is more of a run blocker and an effort player. But Ben knew what he was getting into with a rookie left tackle in there. And so he schemed up some plays. Those 2 touchdown passes that Caleb had early, he threw the ball under 2 seconds. That's not by mistake. So I think he schemed that up. But with that said, Ryan Fowler, I absolutely agree. Trapillo held his own. I would like to see Trapillo start next week as well. I would like to see him finish the year. Like you said, left tackle has been the weak spot for our offense this entire season. How nice would it be to know that you have the answer at left tackle when you go into the draft next year? You could focus on that defense, primarily the defensive end position and tackle, but beef up the trenches for sure on the defensive side of the ball. Obviously, you get Shamar Turner back, you get Dayo Odeyingbo back, but we need some premier pass rush talent on our team. We need a left tackle on our team. So let's see if Ozzie Trapillo can be that guy. Today was not a light task for any tackle. Steelers averaged, I think, the fastest time to pressure in the entire league. And Trapillo held his own. Caleb obviously did his thing. But TJ Watt's not of this earth. He is not like those guys we've faced. And neither is Myles Garrett here that we'll be facing in a couple weeks. Hey, let me put out there as well. Jalen Phillips, whom the Eagles have recently acquired from the Dolphins, has turned that defense around in Philly. Vic Fangio still calls that defense, and they look great. But Jalen Phillips, I believe he came out of the U, like our boy Devin Hester. Jalen Phillips is a stud left tackle, reminiscent of a young Montez Sweat, if you ask me. So if our young tackles can hold their own against Jalen Phillips next week, then we got Myles Garrett, who, oh, by the way, is likely to break the all-time single-season sack record in NFL history this season. It'll be interesting to see. But Darnell Wright had a tough game today against TJ Watt. It was tough. TJ owned him a couple times. All right, another almighty man comment. Some bad misses from Caleb, but also decent protection and getting the ball out quick for catches. Exactly. That was the game plan. Get that ball out quick. Get it out quick. I thought Caleb was off. And for the first half, I felt like our receivers, when they had it close, they were holding on to the ball. Second half, they dropped a few uncharacteristic passes. But first half, he was off. But that was the game plan clearly. And that's why I thought DJ was going to have such a huge game today. I just anticipate he is out of all of our receivers, top 3 at least, him, Rome, and Burden, he's got the lowest yards per route run. They like throwing it to him quick. I loved that screen pass to him later. I believe he converted a first down, And then he threw the ball at the DB. Wasn't happy about that. But I expected the big game out of DJ for that reason. And his physicality, I just had a feeling was going to shine today. You didn't see that as much. You didn't see his physicality as much. He didn't get bullied by any means. But he also wasn't running folks over. He was staying up. He did a great job. But at the end of the day, he got 2 touchdowns. I believe that's his first 2-touchdown game of the season. So shout out to DJ Moore on this one. Shout out to Caleb. Shout out to Monangai. Hey, shout out to Chicago. We just get the dubs. So let's rest up, heal up, and get ready for a massive Black Friday game against a very beatable Philadelphia Eagles squad with some reinforcements back. And then let's keep watching and paying attention, ladies and gentlemen, to what the critics say of your Chicago Bears. Have they not beaten anyone? Can they not beat a playoff team? Listen, if you went to the game today, Jacob, I want to hear from you especially, but if you went to the game today, how did that feel? Was that a playoff caliber team? The Steelers fans travel well. I saw those yellow, terrible towelies. The towelies. I saw them on the TV broadcast. Did that feel like a playoff game? It looked like one. If we can keep winning these games, it's going to be one hell of a holiday season. Listen, I'm having too much fun. It's time for me to go eat some dinner. Bear down, everyone. Comment. Check out Second City for your holiday shopping. That code, once again, that code is HOLIDAY18. All one word. HOLIDAY18 for 18% off everything. Coffee mugs, pint glasses, Bears Over Beers pint glasses. I need to get a Bears Over Bourbon glass because I had a little bit of Basil Hayden's today. It was delish. Wish I had my Bears Over Bourbon glass. But get yourself something and pass on the love for this fantastic season. Bear down, everyone. Thank you, Jacob. Cheers, everybody.